So prior to coming to the Bargello workshop, you will need to cut 2.5-inch strips from your fat quarters and sew these together. So in order to make your cuts off your fat quarters, the first thing you need to do is get a nice straight edge. So I've lined up the a line on the ruler with the selvage edge of the fat quarter, and then I will just make a cut along the edge to straighten it off. Once I've done this, I'm going to turn the fabric around, and now I'm able to line the 2.5-inch line on the ruler up against the straight edge that we've just cut. So that's our 2.5-inch strip. We need to cut 4 of these off each of the Christmas fabrics, and you will need 20 from the black fabrics. So for the black fabric, you're going to need to cut more 2.5-inch strips, and you will have bought 60 centimetres at least of this, and that's probably come off the bolt. And so it isn't a fat quarter, it's 60 centimetres, and it's 42 inches wide, selvage to selvage. So to cut this in the same way, we need to straighten up the edge. So I line the ruler up against the folded edge of the fabric and get a nice straight cut along the edge. Then turn the fabric around, and like we did before, we're going to cut a 2.5-inch strip. Now this is selvage to selvage, 42 inches, so to make it the same length as the fat quarter 2.5-inch strips, we take the folded edge and we cut a very small, tiny piece of it off. So we're cutting the fold away, and now we've got 2.5-inch strips that are the same size as the fat quarter strips that you cut earlier. So you will need 20 of the black coloured strips and 4 each of the other 5 fabrics. So once you have cut your 2.5-inch strips, you will be sewing them into 4 separate strip sets. So in each strip set we are going to have 5 black fabrics, and then 5 of the Christmas fabrics, and you can decide which way you wish to place your Christmas fabrics. So you'll have 5 black fabrics together and then your Christmas fabrics as well. And we'll go over to the sewing machine and sew those together. So I've set the sewing machine up with a 1/4-inch foot on the sewing machine, and I'm going to take my first 2 fabrics. I'm going to line them up right sides together, and we're going to place number 1 fabric on the bottom and number 2 fabric on the top. And we're just going to sew a 1/4-inch seam all the way down. So we're sewing along the long edge with a 1/4-inch seam. Stopping every now and then just to make sure that they're nice and neatly laid up together. So when you're sewing fabrics together in strips like this, if you don't change the direction of your sewing, you will end up with a curve or a banana shape to your strip set. So the way in which we do this is we always sew with the evenly numbered fabric on the top. So this time I'm going to be putting fabric number 3 on, but I need to put it right sides together, and I need to make sure that it was fabric number 2 that is on the uppermost layer. So once again I'm going to be sewing down that long edge with fabric number 2 on the top. So I've sewn 3 fabrics together, and now the 4th fabric needs to be sewn on. And again, this time fabric number 4 is going to be on the top and the other fabrics are underneath. So you continue in this way until you have sewn together all 10 fabrics in your strip set. And then I will show you how you need to iron those. So this is the first strip set sewn together, and we will take this over to the ironing board now so that you can see how to iron those seams. When ironing your strip sets, we're going to iron both fabrics to one side for each seam, and the seams will be ironed both towards the even, so the even seams are ironed in towards the even fabric, and for the odd fabrics they are ironed away from the fabric. So we have ironed in and ironed away and ironed in and ironed away. Ironing the seams in this way is going to help you with our next process, which is the Bargello strip piecing together, and that is what we're going to cover in our class.